Time for International Falls Broncos fall sports action. From the gridiron to the volleyball court to the swimming pool, your International Falls Broncos are gearing up and ready to go this 2025-2026 season. Thank you to all the sponsors of the International Falls Broncos fall sports. And now it's time to get to the action. We are back here live, ladies and gentlemen, on Lakes Country 104.1 KSTM, as well as on YourLiveEvent.com. It's time for some varsity volleyball action here in International Falls High School. It's the Broncos taking on the visitors from Northwoods High School, the Grizzlies. Broncos coming off of a tough 4-set loss to Mountain Iron Buell Rangers on Tuesday, 3-1, after the Broncos were playing such a tight game. Just defense wasn't able to keep it in check for them, and now they're getting ready to take on a tough competition in Northwoods and hoping to get the pieces together. They're missing one of those pieces, though, and we're going to be talking about all that in our pregame show. Hey, this is Augie Schmidt live from the Rainy River, Minnesota North College Press Box. You're listening to Lakes Country 104.1 KSTM, as well as YourLiveEvent.com. Thank you for tuning in. We're going to listen to a couple of our sponsors, and we'll be back for our pregame show and a couple of coaches' interviews in our starting lineups. And also stay tuned for our national anthem, which is brought to you by the local VFW, Post 2948.
Ready to ride into fall? Hi, this is Tony Skifstrom at Border Bank. Whether it's an ATV for backwoods thrills or a truck built for bonfire season, Border Bank makes it easy to gear up with a consumer loan that fits your lifestyle. Fast decisions, competitive rates, hometown service that goes the extra mile. So don't just rake leaves, run them over. Apply today at borderbank.com or come visit with me at the bank. Border Bank, customer first, community focused. Member FDIC.
At Enbridge, we're focused on relationships. 23 Canadian First Nation and Métis communities now own an equity stake in Enbridge Athabasca Pipelines. In Minnesota, Enbridge has spent $450 million and counting with Native-owned companies and in wages to tribal members working on Line 3. Every day brings new collaborations, partnerships, and possibilities. Learn more at Enbridge.com.
Hi, this is Rob from Falls Lumber Company. I'm new to the company, though not to the industry. If you're looking to remodel your kitchen or bathroom, stop in and see me in the Design Center. I can help you pick out the perfect cabinets or countertops from brands such as Crystal Cabinets, Cambria, Corian, and Silestone. If you're in need of flooring, we have options including luxury vinyl plank, hardwood, engineered hardwood, and tile. Stop into the Design Center to see me anytime. When you're looking to build or remodel, come to the experts at Falls Lumber Company, 201 4th Street in International Falls.
Employees at Packaging Corporation of America have been producing quality paper for over a century. We understand our responsibility to the community, and we're honored to support the many needs and events occurring in the borderland. From providing donations to local schools and events, to supporting organizations meeting physical needs in our community, Packaging Corporation of America does more than make paper. We make a difference.
Here with head coach Aaron Hall of the International Falls Broncos volleyball team, getting ready for their second home game of this week and of the season. Taking on Northwoods, it's going to be a bit of a challenge today. And so what was the biggest focus in yesterday's practice?
Yesterday, we talked a lot about serving and our game plan on the service line, and then we talked a lot about serve receive. You can only do so much in a practice. I can only throw so much information at them, so I just wanted to focus on those two things. So we had a little bit of a plan in those two places, and then after that, they know pass set hit, so it's like that's where we're gonna be.
I remember Tuesday. It was a really great game. It was really fun to watch. You girls were really just hanging in there. It was just like a lot of the minor defensive mistakes that were hurting them in some ways. So how are you hoping to try and minimize those mistakes?
So MIB they were scrappy, and they really, they had a few hitters that could bring it, but then they were smart at the net. They tipped well, and we picked a lot of them up, but they were better that night. And tonight we want to play our positions, and we want to eliminate some errors, which I feel like is going to be our challenge all year long.
And with Mara Buller being sick today and not being able to play, what's the biggest adjustment around her as a missing piece?
So Mara played some very tough defense for us the last game. So we'll just having some of our back row players step in and hopefully step up.
Okay. And I know you mentioned beforehand that kind of trying to build a lot of the offensive around Neva Kokesh, who had a really great game on Tuesday, I will say that. So sticking to that game plan as well?
We're just, our goal at this point is just to get a little better every day. We haven't gotten too deep into our offensive plan or options at this point. So, like I said, it's just to go up, be aggressive, attack, and try to eliminate some errors.
Well, I want to wish you guys the very best of luck. Really excited for today's game, especially after Tuesday's game, and thank you for having me.
Yeah, thanks so much.
As you heard, that was my interview with head coach Aaron Hall of the International Falls Broncos. And now let's get into our Broncos starting lineup for today's varsity volleyball action. Starting off, number 2, last Tuesday's Energy Player of the Game, it was Neva Kokesh. And then number 4, Peyton Grasshorn. Number 5, Cami Cronin. Number 9, Lauren Basaraba. Number 16, Charlie Swanson. Number 21, Chesney Skrine. And your libero for today's contest is number 19, Morgan DeMars. As you heard from Coach Hall, sophomore hitter Mara Buller is not going to be present in today's contest, but so be sure to keep an eye out for number 6, Peyton Russo, number 13, Hadley Whitbeck, number 18, Cameron Rasmussen, and number 20, Eliana Koenig. And that's your Broncos starting lineup. Make sure you stay tuned. We have our national anthem brought to you by local VFW Post 2948 coming up. Join us for Burger Night and karaoke. We also live from the Rainy River, Minnesota North College press box. Start your voyage at the Rainy River campus. Your future awaits you right here in your own backyard. Rainy River, Minnesota North College, 218-598-9300. And every update throughout this contest is brought to you by Packaging Corporation of America. Thank you, PCA, for sponsoring the scoreboard updates. And every timeout is brought to you by Service Master of International Falls for a home professionally cleaned all year round. Call Service Master at 218-283-4475. Todd and Gretchen are going to take great care of you. And, of course, at the end of the game, for our post-game awards, we have our Energy Player of the Game, which is brought to you by Enbridge Incorporated. Thank you, Enbridge, for sponsoring Bronco Athletics. And thank you guys for tuning in. We're going to take another quick break, listen to some more sponsors, and we'll be back and listen to my interview with head coach Redmond of the Northwoods Grizzlies. This is Augie Schmidt live on Lakes Country 104.1 KSCM and on YourLiveEvent.com.
Ready to ride into fall? Hi, this is Tony Skifstrom at Border Bank. Whether it's an ATV for backwoods thrills or a truck built for bonfire season, Border Bank makes it easy to gear up with a consumer loan that fits your lifestyle. Fast decisions, competitive rates, hometown service that goes the extra mile. So don't just rake leaves, run them over. Apply today at borderbank.com or come visit with me at the bank. Border Bank, customer first, community focused. Member FDIC.
At Enbridge, we're focused on relationships. 23 Canadian First Nation and Métis communities now own an equity stake in Enbridge Athabasca Pipelines. In Minnesota, Enbridge has spent $450 million and counting with Native-owned companies and in wages to tribal members working on Line 3. Every day brings new collaborations, partnerships, and possibilities. Learn more at Enbridge.com.
Hi, this is Rob from Falls Lumber Company. I'm new to the company, though not to the industry. If you're looking to remodel your kitchen or bathroom, stop in and see me in the Design Center. I can help you pick out the perfect cabinets or countertops from brands such as Crystal Cabinets, Cambria, Corian, and Silestone. If you're in need of flooring, we have options including luxury vinyl plank, hardwood, engineered hardwood, and tile. Stop into the Design Center to see me anytime. When you're looking to build or remodel, come to the experts at Falls Lumber Company, 201 4th Street in International Falls.
I'm here with head coach Redmond of the Northwoods Grizzlies volleyball team, getting ready for today's away matchup against the International Falls Broncos. And Coach Redmond, what's the biggest focus coming into today's game?
We're hoping to remain a little bit more focused in comparison to our Monday night's game. We had some first game jitters, so just trying to tuck those away and lock in for our season.
And so who are some of the leaders on the team that you're hoping to help keep those first game jitters from coming back into the team?
I have 3 captains that start every game and play all the way around: Izzy Pascuzzi, Bryn Chosa, and Lauren Burnett. They're all returning captains this year, and they do a really great job of keeping everyone pretty well grounded throughout the game.
Okay. And are you hoping to see improvements on offensive or defensive aspect compared to Monday?
We're shooting for defense today.
Stonewall, I'm guessing?
Yes.
And so what's probably the biggest goal going into today from the offensive side?
Getting everyone swinging. We've talked about having options on the court all the way around and being able to implement all of those options and spread the ball around a little bit more offensively.
Well, I want to thank you for joining me and wish you the best of luck today.
Thank you.
Employees at Packaging Corporation of America have been producing quality paper for over a century. We understand our responsibility to the community, and we're honored to support the many needs and events occurring in the borderland. From providing donations to local schools and events, to supporting organizations meeting physical needs in our community, Packaging Corporation of America does more than make paper. We make a difference.
Ready to ride into fall? Hi, this is Tony Skifstrom at Border Bank. Whether it's an ATV for backwoods thrills or a truck built for bonfire season, Border Bank makes it easy to gear up with a consumer loan that fits your lifestyle. Fast decisions, competitive rates, hometown service that goes the extra mile. So don't just rake leaves, run them over. Apply today at borderbank.com or come visit with me at the bank. Border Bank, customer first, community focused. Member FDIC.
At Enbridge, we're focused on relationships. 23 Canadian First Nation and Métis communities now own an equity stake in Enbridge Athabasca Pipelines. In Minnesota, Enbridge has spent $450 million and counting with Native-owned companies and in wages to tribal members working on Line 3. Every day brings new collaborations, partnerships, and possibilities. Learn more at Enbridge.com.
And after the interview with Coach Redmond of the Grizzlies, here is the Northwoods starting lineup. Starting off, number 2, Lauren Burnett. Number 4, Britton Lappy. Number 6, Carson Burnett. Number 7, Izzy Pascuzzi. Number 12, Bryn Chosa. Number 13, Ella Cruz. and the libero, number 1, Tessa Burnett. And rounding out the starting lineup for the Varsity Grizzlies is number 14, Lauren Glass, and number 42, Hayden Classy. And those are your starting lineups. And just a couple minutes ago, they had played the national anthem, which is always brought to you by the local VFW post 2948. Sorry, these mic issues are really starting to bother me. I think I got it figured out, though. And another reminder, all of our scoreboard updates throughout today's contest is brought to you by Packaging Corporation of America. And every timeout is brought to you by Service Master of International Falls. And stay tuned after the game for our Energy Player of the Game, brought to you by Enbridge. Thank you, Enbridge, for sponsoring Bronco and Vikings athletics. And that's the whistle. Now they're getting ready to get underway here for set number 1. I am very, very excited. If you couldn't tell, it's going to be a fun one, ladies and gentlemen. I am counting on this one. So, as you guys know, Broncos being led by Neva Kokesh, who was the Enbridge Energy Player of the game last Tuesday. Libero coming in for the Broncos is number 19, Morgan DeMars. On Tuesday, it was Peyton Russo who was the libero, and for today, it is Morgan DeMars. Libero for the Northwoods Grizzlies is number 1, Tessa Burnett. There's 3 Burnett's on the team, so if you guys don't get confused, then hopefully I don't either. Northwoods will be first to serve here. They're going to send number 4, wrong roster, number 4, Britton Lappy. Behind the line to serve for Northwoods to start the game off here. And we are now underway with some varsity volleyball action. Chesney Scrine's going to bump it back over after the serve by Lappy. Sets it up. This is going to be attempt by number 7, Izzy Pascuzzi. Grasshorn over to Basaraba. And Basaraba able to get the first point of the match for the International Falls Broncos. And that's a kill for Lauren Basaraba. Way to thread the needle there, getting it just out of reach. Going cross court. It's also going to be Basaraba serving for the Broncos. She sends it to the libero, Burnett. And that's a kill attempted by Pascuzzi. Too much power behind that one. That's going to be a point for International Falls. A quick 2-0 lead on the PCA scoreboard for International Falls. Lauren Basaraba with the serve. Number 2 for her. And that's going to be inbounds, received by Tessa Burnett. The Grizzlies able to bump it over, and Bronco libero, Morgan DeMar, is able to bump it over, and that's a hit over the back line by Ella Cruz, number 13 of the Grizzlies. It looked like they were trying to force the Broncos close to the net so they can try and sneak it behind all of them, but they keep overshooting the shot. Now we're going to get for a second I thought we were getting a substitution, but no, a Grizzly player had to pick up something off the floor. And that's going to be an error, so that's going to be the first point of the game for the Grizzlies after Basaraba's serve hits the net. 3-1 lead for the Broncos on the PCA scoreboard. Going back to serve for Northwoods is number 12, Bryn Chosa. Chosa serves it, goes to Scrine, and that's going to be a net foul against the Grizzlies. And so that's going to be the Broncos getting the point. Quick substitution. Cammie Cronin coming in to be the frontliner for the Broncos, subbing in for Morgan DeMars. Chesney Scrine serves for the Broncos, and that's going to be off the net. Goes right back to the Grizzlies. 4-2 on the PCA scoreboard as number 7, Izzy Pascuzzi, goes behind the line for Northwoods. Northwoods, so far only 1 game under their belt. This is game number 2 for them. Serve goes to Kokesh. Kokesh able to set it over the net. That's a kill attempted by Lauren Burnett, and that's going to be a successful kill for Burnett to get another point in favor and make it now a 4-3 game. Still in favor of the Broncos. Chesney Scrine subbed out, bringing in Morgan DeMars for the back line. Serving for Northwoods is Izzy Pascuzzi. Sets it up. That is going to be an attempt by Cammie Cronin, but that's going to go over the back line. So that's a point for the Grizzlies. Tied game now 4-4. Or actually, they're going to not give the point to the Grizzlies. That's going to be a point for International Falls. So 5-3 lead for the Broncos. And someone should probably fix the scoreboard because it's supposed to say 5-3 Broncos, not 5-3 Grizzlies. Bumped over the net by Lauren Burnett. Dig by Grasshorn. Kokesh bumps it back over to the Grizzlies. Set up. That's going to be Pascuzzi over to Carson Burnett. And that's going to be a point for the Grizzlies. 5-4 now on the PSA scoreboard. Broncos still lead by 1. They're sending their libero behind the line. That's Tessa Burnett. Like I said, 3 Burnett's on this squad. Grasshorn sets it up. That's going to go behind her and intended for Neva Kokesh, but instead that's going to be a point bit off on the timing for the jump by Kokesh. So that's going to be a 5-5 game now on the PSA scoreboard. And that's going to be out of bounds. Good job by the libero, Morgan DeMars, ducking out of the way just in time. And I think there's definitely some confusion. It should be 6-5, but I'm not going to have to focus in on this as we get a kill attempted by Lauren Burnett. Great dig by the Broncos, and that's a point for the Grizzlies now. Tied game 6-6. Oh my gosh. It should be 6-6, I believe. Not 6-7. And that's a mean. Grasshorn sets it up after the serve. That's Basaraba, sets it over. Carson Burnett over to Chosa. And that's a point for the Grizzlies. Chosa getting the kill for Northwoods. Going back behind the line is number 6, Carson Burnett. She's going to set it to the back line to the Broncos libero. Basaraba with a kill, and Basaraba finds a sweet spot right between a whole bunch of powder blue jerseys, and that is going to be a point for International Falls. It should be a tied game, I'm pretty sure, 7-7. So I may need someone to check that, but Lauren Basaraba off to a hot start with 2 kills in this contest, leading her team, and that's going to be a kill for Lauren Burnett now to take the lead back for the Grizzlies, 7-8. Grizzlies lead in the contest on the PSA scoreboard. Serve by Lauren Burnett, received by Cami Cronin, sets it over, and Skrine can't set up the spike, so she's going to have to just bump it over. And that's number 4, Britton Lappy, who gets the point for Northwoods Grizzlies. So now it is 7-10 in favor of Northwoods. I thought it was 9-7, but I guess not. And serve is an ace for the Grizzlies on the PCA scoreboard. Quick substitution for the Broncos as Eliana Koenig is subbed into the game for Cameron Rasmussen. That ace was by number 2, Lauren Burnett. Burnett with another serve. That's going to send it straight to Koenig. Over to Grasshorn. She's going to get a bump by Basaraba over the net. Now it's the Grizzlies who's going to get an attempt by Izzy Pascuzzi. Received by the Broncos. Now it's Chesney Skrine with her own attempt, and that's going to go over the sideline and out of bounds. So that's going to be a point for the Grizzlies. 12-7 now. I don't know. I feel like math is going out the window. 12-7 lead for the Grizzlies here. Serve by Burnett. That's going to be off the net. And that's going to be now 12-8. Grizzlies lead by 4. Broncos hoping to start a rally here. Subbing in number 16, Charlie Swanson. Subbing in for Eliana Koenig. Swanson's serve for the Broncos sends this one straight to the back liner, Izzy Pascuzzi. Now it's Pascuzzi who's going to get an attempt. That goes over the back line. It looks like the biggest struggle here early in the game for the Grizzlies has been putting too much power behind these attempts. Swanson's serve goes to Burnett, the libero. Now it's Chosa who's able to get it over the net. And a dig by the Broncos goes out of bounds, and that's going to be a point for the Grizzlies. So now it's 13-9 on the PCA scoreboard. Britton Lappy serves it. Swanson to Skrine, and Skrine gets it in bounds. What a kill by Chesney Skrine. Broncos now make it a 13-10 game on the PCA scoreboard, trying to climb back up in this one. And Chesney Skrine having herself a game here early. Her and Lauren Basaraba, the two major weapons for the team, alongside Neva Kokesh. Served by Basaraba. Now it's Pascuzzi who comes up out of nowhere and denies the Broncos their rally. That's a point for the Grizzlies now, 14-10 on the PCA scoreboard. Back to serve is Bryn Chosa for Northwoods. Chosa, jump serve, goes to the Broncos. Now it's Kokesh, who a little bit too much height on her attempt, and that's going to be out of bounds, so that's a point for the Grizzlies. 15-10 here in set number 1. Broncos trail by 5 on the PCA scoreboard. Chosa serving for the Grizzlies. Jump serve, sends it to Kokesh. Kokesh to Swanson. Swanson over to Grasshorn. Grasshorn off a blocker. That's going to be Peyton Grasshorn with the kill. Broncos now trying to answer back here, keeping it not too crazy of a lead for the Grizzlies. 15-11 on the PCA scoreboard. And something that these Grizzlies seem to excel in is those quick, sneaky sets over the net. That was Carson Burnett who was able to get it over. Now it's 16-11 lead for the Grizzlies. Number 7, Izzy Pascuzzi to serve for Northwoods. She sends it to the back line to Basaraba. Swanson over to Grasshorn off the blockers. That's going to be bumped by Chosa. Kokesh to Swanson. Back to Kokesh. He's going to go for a kill. That is blocked by Izzy Pascuzzi. Chosa sends it over. Basaraba to Swanson. Back to Kokesh. He's going to get an attempt, but that's going to be off the net. And that is a point for the Northwoods Grizzlies. 17-11 now on the PCA scoreboard in favor of the visitors. Izzy Pascuzzi back behind the line. She's going to serve it to Chesney Skrine. Swanson sets it up. That's going to be Cami Cronin. Little late on her jump, or perhaps early. And so quick timeout called by head coach Aaron Hall of the International Falls Broncos, trying to regather themselves and try and figure out what the game plan is to try and stop this rally and start their own. The Broncos, they've been hanging in there, but Grizzlies so far picking up a bit of a momentum. So we're going to take a quick 30-second break, and you're listening to Lakes Country 104.1 KSTM, as well as watching on YourLiveEvent.com. Broncos versus Grizzlies, 18-11, the score on the PCA scoreboard.
Hi, this is Rob from Falls Lumber Company. I'm new to the company, though not to the industry. If you're looking to remodel your kitchen or bathroom, stop in and see me in the Design Center. I can help you pick out the perfect cabinets or countertops from brands such as Crystal Cabinets, Cambria, Corian, and Silestone. If you're in need of flooring, we have options including luxury vinyl plank, hardwood, engineered hardwood, and tile. Stop into the Design Center to see me anytime. When you're looking to build or remodel, come to the experts at Falls Lumber Company, 201 4th Street in International Falls.
Welcome back to the Rainy River, Minnesota North College Press Box on Lakes Country 104.1 KSTM. Start your voyage at the Rainy River campus. Your future awaits you right here in your own backyard. Rainy River, Minnesota North College, 218-598-9300. And that's going to be an ace for number 7, Izzy Pascuzzi of the Northwoods Grizzlies. The score now on the PCA scoreboard, 19-11. Grizzlies finding some momentum late in the set. Broncos trying to play catch up here. That's going to be another ace for Pascuzzi. So now it's 20-11, a solid year, if I do say so myself. Still in favor of the Grizzlies. Served by Pascuzzi, sends it to the back row, dig by Basaraba, and that's Cami Cronin who sends it over the net. Now it's Chosa over to Burnett, Lauren Burnett, and that's going to be inbounds, able to keep it in. That's just what the Grizzlies have been looking for the beginning of the set. Kept forcing the Broncos closer to the net, trying to open up that back space of the court. Izzy Pascuzzi served And that's going to be a beeline that hits the net, putting some heat on that one. So now it's 21-12. Broncos trail by 9 on the PCA scoreboard. Quick substitution, Charlie Swanson out. Cameron Rasmussen in with the substitution. Peyton Grasshorn serves for the Broncos. Received by the libero, Tessa Burnett. And that's an attempt by Lauren Burnett, trying to go cross court. That's going to go out of bounds instead. So 21-13, the score on the PCA scoreboard in set number 1. Broncos trying to start a rally here, starting it behind Peyton Grasshorn. Grasshorn, serve number 2 in this rally. Chosa over to Carson Burnett. Peyton Grasshorn keeps it in play, and Cami Cronin's going to bump it over. Chosa finds a teammate. That's going to be a net foul against the Broncos, going for the block as Ella Cruz was trying to run up and get a kill. Gets the point anyway, so now 22-13 on the PCA scoreboard. Tessa Burnett, the libero, behind the line to serve for the Northwoods Grizzlies. Lauren Basaraba to Grasshorn, over to Cronin. Chosa sets it up. That's Burnett, specifically Carson Burnett. Grasshorn sets it up. That's Neva Kokesh off the net, though, and they're going to say that's a double hit. Or no, that's going to be 4 hits. Looks, I guess the line judge is saying it didn't hit the blockers, and therefore Broncos could not hit it. Serve by Burnett, and Broncos keep it in play. What an effort there. Great dig by the Bronco libero. Rasmussen sends it into the middle of the pile. And miscommunication among the Grizzlies leads to a Bronco point, leading it to a 23-14 score on the PCA scoreboard. Neva Kokesh goes behind the line to serve for the International Falls Broncos. This is set number 1. Broncos wanting to try and rally and not lose the first set. Kill by number 2. Lauren Burnett goes right into the hands of Kokesh, and Kokesh able to get it right back over. Rasmussen to, number 5, Cami Cronin. And that's going to be Broncos getting the point. Sneaky network by International Falls Broncos. Cami Cronin in there, able to get an unlucky bounce from the Grizzlies that went behind them and out of reach. Kokesh with the serve. 23-15, the score on the PCA scoreboard. Cameron Burnett over to Britton Lappy. Cameron Rasmussen sets it up. That's hit over the net by Morgan DeMar. And that's a kill by number 4, Britton Lappy. 24-15, the score on the PCA scoreboard. Broncos down by 9. Set point right here in the hands of the number 6, Carson Burnett of the Northwoods Grizzlies. But a quick second to tie her shoe. Ladies and gentlemen, a reminder, double knot your laces. Now, Burnett with the serve. That's going to be right to Cami Cronin. Grasshorn sets it up. Basaraba off the net, goes over to the Grizzly side. That's number 2, Lauren Burnett with her own kill. That bounces off the net and off of a blocker. Cameron Rasmussen to Grasshorn, back to Rasmussen, off the blockers, and gets the point for the Broncos! Cameron Rasmussen gets the kill, sneaks it through, and so now your Broncos trying to climb back in this set late in this one. 24-16, Morgan DeMars serving for International Falls. She sends it to the back row to Tess Burnett, the libero. That's Burnett that's Lauren Burnett. I need to make sure I don't get them mixed up. Lauren Burnett gets the kill, and that's going to seal the deal here on set number 1. And so, end of the first set, Broncos lose it 25-16. Now coming up in the second set, Broncos hoping to answer back and get a win and not let the Grizzlies get one win closer to take in the sweep. And so we're going to get ready for all that and more here. You're listening and watching on Lakes Country 104.1 KSTM, as well as on YourLiveEvent.com from the Rainy River, Minnesota North College Press Box. PCA scoreboard says 25-16, end of set number 1, going into set number 2.
Employees at Packaging Corporation of America have been producing quality paper for over a century. We understand our responsibility to the community, and we're honored to support the many needs and events occurring in the borderland. From providing donations to local schools and events, to supporting organizations meeting physical needs in our community, Packaging Corporation of America does more than make paper. We make a difference.
Ready to ride into fall? Hi, this is Tony Skifstrom at Border Bank. Whether it's an ATV for backwoods thrills or a truck built for bonfire season, Border Bank makes it easy to gear up with a consumer loan that fits your lifestyle. Fast decisions, competitive rates, hometown service. Ready to ride into fall? Hi, this is Tony Skifstrom at Border Bank. Whether it's an ATV for backwoods thrills or a truck built for bonfire season, Border Bank makes it easy to gear up with a consumer loan that fits your lifestyle. Fast decisions, competitive rates, hometown service that goes the extra mile. So don't just rake leaves, run them over. Apply today at borderbank.com or come visit with me at the bank. Border Bank, customer first, community focused. Member FDIC.
Welcome back to the Rainy River, Minnesota North College Press Box on Lakes Country 104.1 KSDM. Set number 2 just about underway. The Northwoods Grizzlies took set number 1, 25-16, and now the Broncos looking to respond here going into this next set, hoping to get a win and not allow the Grizzlies to get one closer to taking the 3-win match. Now just waiting for a second, trying to figure out the roster movements. Who's going where? Quick discussion, I suppose. But the Broncos are going to be the ones to serve first here in set number 2. Not sure where the confusion is coming from. Wonder if we can play some more ads. Because I love playing our ads so that people can know who is sponsoring Broncos sports, because thanks to you guys that I'm able to go and do these game coverages. It's always a lot of fun for me to show what these kids can do. These kids, they put in a lot of effort, they put in a lot of work, and they deserve to be credited with that work. And so, much kudos to them. And also, I do get paid for this, which is also nice. But really, I do it for the love of the game, because I love sports, and volleyball is one of my favorite sports of all time because it is such a fun, fast-paced sport. And now let's get into set number 2. Charlie Swanson of the Broncos serves it. Goes straight to Pascuzzi, who tries to get a hit over the net. Received by Kokesh. Now it's Chessie Scribe with an kill off the blockers. That's going to be set up. Cameron Burnett to Chosa. And miscommunication among the Broncos. That's going to lead to the Grizzlies taking the first point of set number 2. They take a 1-0 lead on the PCA scoreboard early in the game. Serving for the Northwoods Grizzlies is number 4, Britton Lappy. Sends it to Kokesh. Over to Swanson to Grasshorn, who gets the hit off the blockers and a kill! Peyton Grasshorn able to squeeze it right past the blockers of the Northwoods Grizzlies. Now back to serve for the Broncos is going to be number 9, Lauren Basaraba. Basaraba was one of the leaders in that first set with 2 kills to her name. And the Broncos stonewall on Northwoods, unable to get past them, and so they're going to take a 2-1 lead now on the PCA scoreboard. Basaraba back behind the line for the Broncos to serve. She sends it to Chosa. Chosa to Cameron Burnett. Over to Pascuzzi, who gets a running start, blocked by Chessie Skrine and Peyton Grasshorn. Skrine's going to get a hit over the net. Now it's Burnett to Pascuzzi. Blocked and off the head of Peyton Grasshorn. I think, actually, for a second, I saw them hold up the 4, so I was thinking almost maybe a 4 hit, but perhaps I was wrong. That's a point for the Grizzlies now. Tied game 2-2. It is Chosa serving for the Grizzlies. She sends it to Kokesh. Kokesh to Swanson, sets it up. That's back to Kokesh, and that's blocked by the Grizzlies. Swanson sets it back up. Kokesh gets another chance. She's going to just bunny hop that one over the blockers that time. That's Pascuzzi. Nice little force push over the net. Chosa sets it up. That's back to Pascuzzi off the top of the net, and that's going to be a point for the Broncos. Pascuzzi putting all kinds of swing behind that one. You can tell that she is a big part of this team's offensive approach. as they are always trying to set up the ball for her. She has 2 aces and 1 kill so far in this matchup. And Lauren Burnett has 1 ace and 2 kills. Serving for the Broncos is number 21, Chesney Skrine. Great effort by Chosa, stumbling a little and getting the receive. Pascuzzi over the back line. Take it easy, like it owes her money. 4-2 now. Broncos lead on the PCA scoreboard. Chesney Skrine with the serve. She's going to send it to the back line. Off the hands of Burnett, and miscommunication. It looked like it was just a bad set. Kind of rolled off her hand instead of bouncing off of it, and that led to her not being able to get out of the way. So Tessa Burnett going for the set. So now Broncos lead by 3, 5-2. Chesney Skrine getting the ace for International Falls. Pascuzzi, and that's going to be tipped by a Bronco, and so that's going to be a point for the Grizzlies. Pascuzzi has been gunning for that. That's her sweet spot from the looks of it. She went for a kill from that specific spot 5 times. First serve, Pascuzzi, the one serving. Grasshorn stumbling a little, and that's going to lead to a Bronco losing the point. Point goes to the Grizzlies on the PCA scoreboard. 5-4 now. We're live from the Rainy River, Minnesota North College press box. Morgan DeMars subbed into the game for the Broncos. Coming in for Chesney Skrine. Izzy Pascuzzi of the Grizzlies serves it to Basaraba. Cami Cronin goes for a kill. That is blocked by Lauren Burnett. Chosa back to Burnett. She tries a bunny hop in, and that's going to be too short of the net. Broncos get the point. 6-4 now on the PCA scoreboard. And quick substitution, Cameron Rasmussen comes in, and Charlie Swanson comes out. Peyton Grasshorn serving for International Falls. Sends it to the back line to Tessa Burnett. Chosa sets it up for Cameron Burnett. Blocked by the Broncos, and somehow able to get it over the net again after the block. And that's blocked by number 2, Neva Kokesh. Back over the net, but out of bounds. The Broncos now make it 7-4. Peyton Grasshorn serves for International Falls. A beeline that goes out of bounds, so that's going to be 7-5 now. Grizzlies get the point. Don't forget to tune in after the game for our Enbridge Energy Player of the Game, which will be awarded to the player who has showed all kinds of grit and energy in this contest. Serve by number 1, Tessa Burnett, the libero for the Grizzlies. And Cameron, back foot, fadeaway attempt. Lauren Burnett goes for a kill, blocked by the Broncos. Burnett with another attempt. That dig by Basaraba. And Rasmussen over to Grasshorn, who bumps it over. Chosa sets it up. That is number 4, Britta Lappy. Sweet spot right in the middle of the purple jerseys. That makes it a 7-6 game. And Britta Lappy has 2 kills in this game so far. 7-6 on the PCA scoreboard. Tessa Burnett serves it, trying to help get the tie and maybe take the lead. Grasshorn over to Rasmussen, who bumps it back over the net. Chosa sets it up. That is number 4, Britton Lappy. Same spot, same timing. This time kind of doing a looping motion. Britton Lappy running around her teammate to get the kill. So now it's a tied game, 7-all. Tessa Burnett serves it, and that's going to be off the net. Broncos get the lead 8-7 now on the PCA scoreboard. Going back to serve for the Broncos is number 2, Neva Kokesh. She serves it. That's going to be off the net. Tied game once again, 8-all. Broncos needing to get a win and tie this game up 1-1. The Grizzlies took set 1, 25-16. Serving for the Grizzlies is Carson Burnett. Grasshorn sets it up for Basaraba. Goes for back row. Instead blocked by Izzy Pascuzzi. Set up. That is Lauren Burnett as well. And Broncos losing where the ball went. That led to the point for the Grizzlies. So now they have the lead, their first lead here of set number 2, 9-8 on the PCA scoreboard. And Carson Burnett serves once again, received by Morgan DeMars. Cami Cronin goes for a kill, blocked. Grasshorn Rasmussen, and unable to keep it in play, sadly, but what an effort by the Broncos. That's now a 10-8 lead for the Northwoods Grizzlies. Here on the PCA scoreboard, live on Lakes Country 104.1, as well as on yourliveevent.com. Only had one timeout called so far, but the next one is also going to be sponsored by Service Master of International Falls, because all of them are sponsored by Service Master of International Falls. Carson Burnett over to Chosa, blocked by the Broncos. Grasshorn to Basaraba, no good. Carson Burnett over to Lauren Burnett. Dig by Kokesh. Grasshorn back to Kokesh and able to get it back over the net. Keeps it in play. Carson Burnett. Pump fake by one. Hit by Lauren Burnett. Basaraba sends it over. Carson Burnett to Lauren Burnett. That's going to be out of bounds. Broncos get the point. 10-9. Broncos down by one on the PCA scoreboard. Chesley Scrine subbed into the game. She comes in for Cammie Cronin. Going back to serve is the libero, number 19, Morgan DeMars. 10-9 the lead for the Grizzlies. Cameron Burnett over to Britton Lappy. Her kill goes over the back line, out of bounds, so that's going to be a point for the Broncos, tying this game at 10 apiece. A good old 10 out of 10. Perfect rating. Morgan DeMar serves it for the Broncos. Carson Burnett sets it up for Lauren Burnett. She sends it over. Cameron Rasmussen goes across to Lauren Basaraba, but sadly that gets caught by the top of the net, and that's going to be point for the Grizzlies. 11-10 with a 1-point lead. It's Lauren Burnett who's back to serve for Northwoods. Jump serve. That's little in front, a little too far in front of Morgan DeMars, and so she's not able to get fully underneath her dig. And that leads to the ace for Lauren Burnett. She has two of them now in the game. And that's another ace back-to-back for Lauren Burnett of the Grizzlies. So now make it a 13-10 game here on the PCA scoreboard. Lauren Burnett serving once more. She has two aces in a row. Serves it to Basaraba. Rasmussen over to Kokesh. Kokesh sends it far back. Tessa Burnett stumbling, tripping backwards. Pascuzzi sends it over. Now it's Basaraba with an attempt off the net. That is a point for the Grizzlies now. 14-10. Quick substitution by Coach Hall of the Broncos. She's going to send in number 13, Hadley Whitbeck. Brings her in for Lauren Basaraba. 14-10 lead on the PCA scoreboard for the Grizzlies. And Burnett sends it over the back line. That's going to be a point for the Broncos now, 14-11. Quick substitution once again for the Broncos. Charlie Swanson comes in. Cameron Rasmussen comes out. Charlie Swanson's going to be the one to serve for International Falls. Frontliners, Peyton Grasshorn, Chesley Scrine, and Hadley Whitbeck. Swanson serves it over, goes straight to Tessa Burnett, and that's going to be an ace for the senior, number 16, Charlie International Falls. So now it's 14-12. Broncos trying to start a rally here. Trying to reclaim their lead that they built up earlier in the period, or set, excuse me. And that's going to be out of bounds, so rally cut short, 15-12. Northwoods leads on the scoreboard as they send number 4, Britton Lappy, behind the line to serve for the Grizzlies. Chesley Scrine, and that's going to be an ace for Britton Lappy. She gets her first ace of the night. 1 ace, 3 kills for Britton Lappy, who's back behind the line to serve. 16-12 the lead for Northwoods. Grasshorn runs up and gets the kill, bouncing it off of the blockers. Peyton Grasshorn gets her 3rd kill of the night. Quick substitution by the Broncos. Hadley Whitbeck comes out. Eliana Koenig's going to come into the game, and she's going to serve for International Falls. 16-13 the lead for the Grizzlies. Koenig, the lefty, dig by DeMars. Kokesh gets it over the net. Carson Burnett over to Pascuzzi with the run-up, and that's going to be For a second, it looked like it would have been out of bounds, but it was off of the fingertips of a Broncos. That's a point for the Grizzlies and a kill for Izzy Pascuzzi. So 17-13 the lead for Northwoods. Serving is number 12, Bryn Chosa. Dig by Kokesh. Grasshorn able to get it over the net. Chosa over to Pascuzzi. Same spot. Running up and bringing it down. Laying the hammer. And Pascuzzi back in her sweet spot. She's going to help extend the lead once again for the Grizzlies here on the PCA scoreboard. 18-13, and that's going to be an ace for Bryn Chosa. That's now 19-13 on the PCA scoreboard. Chosa gets her first ace of the game. Quick substitution. Cami Cronin is going to come out. Coming into the game is going to be number 6 for the Broncos, Peyton Russo. She was the libero for the Broncos on Tuesday. Today's libero is Morgan DeMars. Chosa serves it. That's to Kokesh. Swanson sets it up. Back to Kokesh. She's going to run up and almost get the kill. What an effort, Pascuzzi. But sadly, that's going to lead to 4 hits. But you know what? Much credit by the Grizzlies. Somehow, Lauren Burnett, able to get a hand on it, went high in the air towards her teammate Pascuzzi, and she was somehow able to get a hand on it. And that kept it in play, but that did lead to 4 hits, but great efforts. Set up Pascuzzi, off the blockers, bounces off the elbows of Grasshorn, and they somehow avoid 4 hits and keep it in play. So Broncos keep this one alive. Grasshorn sets it up. That is going to be Cronin. Sends it over the blockers. Cross net, and that's going to be off the blockers and out of bounds. That is a point for the Grizzlies. Pascuzzi, you guessed it, from her sweet spot, gets the point for the Northwoods Grizzlies. She has counted up 5 of them. She's also going to be the one serving for the Northwoods Grizzlies. Subbed into the game was number 42, Hayden Classy. Keeping it classy for the Grizzlies. Ha, like what I did there. Lauren Burnett gets the kill, finds a sweet spot to get the point, and now it's 21-14 in favor of the Northwoods Grizzlies. Broncos down. Grizzlies able to repeat their success from earlier, where despite the early struggles in the set, they're able to slowly and gradually gain a lead and grow it. Grasshorn sets it up. That's going to be to Cronin. 50-50 ball. That's going to be point for the Broncos. They're going to call it in favor for International Falls. So now 21-15 on the PCA scoreboard. Quick substitution. Cameron Rasmussen subbed into the game for Charlie Swanson. Grasshorn back to serve for International Falls, hoping to start a rally here. She gets the ace! Peyton Grasshorn gets an ace for the Broncos, now 21-16. She has an ace and 3 kills on the night here. Grasshorn serves it. That's going to be almost another ace. It looked like it. And that's on the line. Lauren Burnett, precision with her kill to keep the Broncos from gaining their momentum. So 22-16. Tessa Burnett serving for Northwoods. Grasshorn sets it up for Cronin, who gets the kill. Cami Cronin for the Broncos. Cami Cronin, one of the frontline players for the Broncos. Quick substitution. Hadley Whitbeck comes in. Eliana Koenig comes out. Neva Kokesh back to serve for the Broncos. 22-16. Chosa. That's an ace for Kokesh. So actually it's now 18. 22-18 Broncos trailing on the scoreboard. Kokesh with the serve. Chosa sets up. That's going to be a kill. Blocked and somehow keep it in play. What? Great job. Great heads-up play by Burnett. Broncos could keep it in, but unable to get there in time. So that's going to be a point for the Grizzlies here, but great effort there by the libero. But Morgan DeMars just barely out of reach. So we're going to get a quick substitution by the Grizzlies. Hayden Classy comes out. Coming into the game to serve is Carson Burnett. 23-18 the score on the PCA scoreboard. Burnett serves it. That's going to go to Kokesh. Grasshorn gets it. And that's going to be DeMars sending it over. Pascuzzi to number 6, Carson Burnett. She sets it up for her sister, I believe, Lauren Burnett. So that's another point for the Grizzlies. 24-18 set point right here in set number 2. Carson Burnett serving for Northwood. She's going to send it to Kokesh. Grasshorn sets it up. That's going to go back to Rasmussen, and that's going to be set number 2, won by the Grizzlies of Northwoods. So now they take a 2-0 lead over the International Falls Broncos here at home tonight. And the Grizzlies led heavily by Lauren Burnett, Carson Burnett, and Izzy Pascuzzi. Carson Burnett getting a lot of assists on the play there. And now we're going to get ready for set number 3. Broncos needing to make some big moves here, trying to get... It's going to take a reverse sweep for International Falls to get a win here today. Let's see if they can pull it off. First, we're going to listen to some words from our sponsors on Lakes Country 104.1 KSDM and on yourliveevent.com.
At Enbridge, we're focused on relationships. 23 Canadian First Nation and Métis communities now own an equity stake in Enbridge Athabasca Pipelines. In Minnesota, Enbridge has spent $450 million and counting with Native-owned companies and in wages to tribal members working on Line 3. Every day brings new collaborations, partnerships, and possibilities. Learn more at Enbridge.com.
Hi, this is Rob from Falls Lumber Company. I'm new to the company, though not to the industry. If you're looking to remodel your kitchen or bathroom, stop in and see me in the Design Center. I can help you pick out the perfect cabinets or countertops from brands such as Crystal Cabinets, Cambria, Corian, and Silestone. If you're in need of flooring, we have options including luxury vinyl plank, hardwood, engineered hardwood, and tile. Stop into the Design Center to see me anytime. When you're looking to build or remodel, come to the experts at Falls Lumber Company, 201 4th Street in International Falls.
Employees at Packaging Corporation of America have been producing quality paper for over a century. We understand our responsibility to the community, and we're honored to support the many needs and events occurring in the borderland. From providing donations to local schools and events, to supporting organizations meeting physical needs in our community, Packaging Corporation of America does more than make paper. We make a difference.
Ready to ride into fall? Hi, this is Tony Skifstrom at Border Bank. Whether it's an ATV for backwoods thrills or a truck built for bonfire season, Border Bank makes it easy to gear up with a consumer loan that fits your lifestyle. Fast decisions, competitive rates, hometown service that goes the extra mile. So don't just rake leaves, run them over. Apply today at borderbank.com or come visit with me at the bank. Border Bank, customer first, community focused. Member FDIC.
On yourliveevent.com. Going into set number 3, Broncos trailed 2-0 against the Northwoods Grizzlies. Visiting here today, Grizzlies took set number 2, 18-28, and took set number 1, 20. Did I really put 28? 18-25. Excuse me. I need to really check my handwriting sometimes. And they took set number 1, 16-25. Grizzlies are going to get the first serve here in this upcoming set. Serving for the Grizzlies is going to be number 4, Britton Lappy. She's going to send it to Neva Kokesh, over to Grasshorn, and that's going to be Eliana Kane going for a kill. A little too much height on that one. That goes out of bounds, and the Grizzlies are going to get the first point of the match here in set number 3 and take an early lead against the Broncos. Lappy with the serve. Dig, and I gotta say, I got a lot of kudos to volleyball players and how willing they are to slide on the hardwood floor, because I could never, because just like the sound of like skin scraping along hardwood already makes me cringe, but it just sounds painful. Back to the action, though. Serve. That's going to be Chesney Scrine going for a hit over that. Sends Carson Burnett to Pascuzzi. Blocked, and Broncos able to send it back over. Chesney Scrine blocked and unable to get it back over that time, though, and that's going to lead to the point for the Northwoods Grizzlies. But great effort by the Broncos there, fighting for it. So now it's going to go back to Britton Lappy, who is serving. She has 2 aces so far in the contest and 3 kills. One of the biggest key components for this Northwood squad. Grasshorn sets it up for Scrine, who sends a kill, and I think that might have tipped off of the... Or maybe she got out of the way just in time. For a second, I thought it was tipped by Lappy, but the line judge is saying that she didn't touch it, so that's going to go out of bounds, and that's going to be a 4-0 lead early for the Grizzlies. And that's going to lead to an ace for Britton Lappy. What in the world? She finds a hot corner right there, bottom left corner of the Broncos side of the court, and you know what? That was just a great serve. It looked like it was going out, and it wasn't a bad call by the Broncos. But now rattled early here, so we're going to get a timeout called by Broncos head coach Aaron Hall. And this timeout is brought to you by Service Master of International Falls for a home that is professionally cleaned all year round. Call Service Master at 218-283-4475. Todd and Gretchen are going to take great care of you. Also, special shout out to our press box sponsor, Rainy River Minnesota North College. Start your voyage at the Rainy River campus. Your future awaits you right here in your own backyard. Rainy River Minnesota North College, 218-598-9300. Our national anthem sponsor at the beginning of the game was the local VFW Post 2948. Join them for Burger Night and Karaoke. And make sure you stay tuned after the game for our Energy Player of the Game, brought to you by Enbridge Incorporated. Served by Lappy. Chesney Scrine hits it off the net. That's going to be another point for the Grizzlies. Now 6-0 on the PCA scoreboard. If you couldn't tell already, Packaging Corporation of America is the sponsor for all these scoreboard updates throughout the contest. And so the ref going a little crazy there, blowing the whistle, and quick substitution by the Grizzlies. They're going to bring in number 14, Lauren Glass. Great dig by Kokesh. Grasswood keeps it in play. DeMar sends it over the net. Glass to Carson Burnett to Chosa. Koenig sets it up. That's going to be Basaraba. Bunny hop over, but hit by Chosa. Back over the net. Grasshorn sets it up behind herself. And Eliana Koenig down the white line and keeps it inbound. She gets her first kill of the game here. And that's a point for the Broncos now. 6-1 on the PCA scoreboard. Broncos down, but not fully out of it. Charlie Swanson, the senior, goes back to serve for International Falls. Serve received by Glass. Carson Burnett over to Pascuzzi. And received by the Broncos. And for a second, it looked like that was almost going to be in bounds. But sadly, Broncos unable to keep it in play. Pascuzzi back in her sweet spot. They got to try and find a way to get her out of that sweet spot. But she seems drawn to it. And so it's going to be, for a second, it looked like it was going to be Pascuzzi serving for the Grizzlies. Instead, it is Bryn Chosa. Never mind, it is going to be Izzy Pascuzzi. So 7-1 lead for the Grizzlies here in set number 3. They lead as well 2-0. And we're going to have another switch. It actually is going to be Chosa serving for the Grizzlies. Let's see if they switch one more time, just to be sure. Not sure what the discussion and confusion is coming from, but we're set. We are good. We are settled in with Chosa as our server for this upcoming play by the Grizzlies. She's going to beeline it to DeMars. Lauren Basaraba to Swanson, who bumps it over. And that's Burnett to Chosa. Over to Pascuzzi. Blocked by the Broncos. Number 21 and number 9. Chesney Scrine and Lauren Basaraba. 7-2 now, lead for the Grizzlies. Getting early momentum, and now Broncos trying to get their own momentum as Lauren Basaraba serves it for International Falls. Received by Burnett over to Cameron Burnett. That's Pascuzzi with the kill, bouncing off the net, and great effort by Kokesh trying to keep it in play, but awkward angle close to the net, unable to get it over the net, so that's going to lead to an 8-2 lead for the Northwoods Grizzlies. Izzy Pascuzzi, now this time she's back to serve for the Grizzlies. She's going to send it over the net to DeMars. Swanson sets it up for Kokesh, who bounces it off of a blocker. Sliding in for the dig was Pascuzzi. Now that's hit over the net by number 2, Lauren Burnett, and she gets the point for the Northwoods Grizzlies. 9-2 now, the score on the PCA scoreboard here. You're listening and watching on Lakes Country 104.1 KSTM and on YourLiveEvent.com. Izzy Pascuzzi with the serve, received by Chesley Skrine, set up Swanson to Kokesh, and off the net, somehow keeping it in play, but that's not going to be enough. Lauren Burnett, unable to get it over the net, goes under instead, and that's going to be a point for the International Falls Broncos. Cami Cronin subbed in by the Broncos, coming in for number 19, the libero, Morgan DeMars. Chesley Skrine serves for International Falls. Chosa sets it up. That's going to be Carson Burnett, excuse me. And it looks like they're going to say that was out of bounds, so a point for the Broncos now, 9-4. Coach Hogg giving some orders to the team. 9-4. Broncos trail by 5. Chesley Skrine serves it. Chosa to Lauren Burnett. Dig by Basaraba. Grasshorn. Skrine sets it over. Chosa sets it up. That's going to go over to number 12, number 13, Ella Cruz. She's been dormant in this one. Chosa tries to set it over the net. Bumped by Kokesh. Kokesh is also going to get it set up for her. She's going to bunny hop it over the net. Chosa over to Lauren Burnett, and that's going to be out of bounds. Broncos get the point. 9-5 now. Broncos trail by 4 on the PCA scoreboard. Chesley Skrine back to serve for International Falls. Skrine serves it beeline straight to the libero, Tessa Burnett. That's blocked. Cruz going for the kill. Chosa sets out. This time it's Lauren Burnett. Gets it past the blockers. Cami Cronin keeps it in play. Over to Kokesh. Kokesh gets it over to Tessa Burnett. That's going to be Carson Burnett. Basaraba gets the dig. Chesley Skrine sends it behind her and over the net. Chosa over to Lauren Burnett. And that's out of bounds. Point for the Broncos. 9-6. What was once a 5-point lead, maybe even a 6-point lead, has now become a 3-point lead. Chesley Skrine leading the charge, but that's going to be over the back line. Too much oomph, too much power. So now serving for the Grizzlies is number 1, the libero, Tessa Burnett. Dig by DeMar. Kokesh is going to bump it over the net. Chosa sets it up, and what looked like a bit of an awkward, mid-air adjustment by Britton Lappy leads to a nice point for the Grizzlies, making it now 11-6. Tessa Burnett back to serve. The libero sends it over the back line, and that's going to be a point for the Broncos now. 7-11 on the PCA scoreboard. And we're not talking the gas station, ladies and gentlemen. Quick substitution for the Broncos. Charlie Swanson comes out. Going into the game is Hadley Whitbeck. Served by Peyton Grasshorn. Bumped up in the air. That's going to be Lauren Burnett going for the hit over. 2 Broncos dive. Kokesh bumps it over. Chosa sets it up. That's going to be number 4, Britton Lappy. A solid connection between those 2 teammates. You can call it golden even, as that's going to be another point for the Grizzlies now. 12-7, they lead. Carson Burnett serves. That's out of bounds though, so Broncos get it right back. 12-8. Broncos trail by 4. Neva Kokesh looking to shave the lead down with her upcoming serves. Kokesh sends it to number 7, Pascuzzi. Carson Burnett sets it up for Britton Lappy, who sends it down, bouncing off of the blockers of the Broncos. And that lands right in front of the net, so that's going to be a point for Northwoods Grizzlies. Substitution coming into the game is number 14, Lauren Glass, who's going to go behind the line to serve for Northwoods. She's going to send it down the line to Lauren Basaraba. Grasshorn sets it up for Whitbeck, who sends it right to Tessa Burnett. And miscommunication, bounce off the ceiling, almost messed up the Grizzlies, but way to adjust. Now it's Basaraba sending it, and that's going to be in bounds on the line. Lauren Basaraba gets the point for the International Falls Broncos. She has 3 kills now on the night. Back to serve for International Falls, Morgan DeMars. 13-9. Carson Burnett over to Chosa. Set up in the air by Basaraba. Basaraba is also going to get it sent back to her. She hits it over. Carson Burnett across to Pascuzzi. Bounces off the net, and that's going to lead to a Bronco point as that leads to 4 hits by the Grizzlies. Serving is once again Morgan DeMars of the Broncos. Looking to start a rally here. 13-10, 3-point lead on the PCA scoreboard. Chosa hits it. And I think we're going to get a net foul against the Broncos. So that's going to slow down their momentum, making it 14-10 lead for the Grizzlies. This is a crucial one as the Broncos want to avoid the sweep and maybe try and get a reverse sweep started. And it has to start here in set number 3. Chesney Skrine hits it over, and somehow the Grizzlies keep it in play. What in the world? Nice dive and nice efforts by the Grizzlies. And somehow Hadley Whitbeck responds by finding a nice sweet spot in the back corner to get the Bronco point. 14-11 your score on the PCA scoreboard. Hadley Whitbeck, she's going to be subbed out, bringing in Charlie Swanson, but she cannot be any happier than that with that amazing hit to the back corner. Charlie Swanson serve for the Broncos. Beeline straight to Tessa Burnett. High bump. Carson Burnett over to Pascuzzi, and that's going to be out of bounds. Broncos point. This is now a 2-point game here in set number 2. Broncos slowly but surely climbing back. Charlie Swanson, the serve for the Broncos. She sends it a beeline towards that back corner and fumbling. Bryn Chosa leading to an ace for the Broncos. Number 16. She has 2 aces now here today. Looking to make it 3, excuse me, I'm bad at math. Charlie Swanson looking to try and help get the score tied up. Carson Burnett over to Pascuzzi. She sets it over, and Pascuzzi's going to try and slow the Broncos down and gaining their momentum. 15-13 on the PCA scoreboard. Broncos, though, able to climb back here after what looked like a huge lead for the Grizzlies. It's Bryn Chosa serving for Northwoods. Chosa serves it. Short one off of the hands of Kokesh, and that's going to be number 6, Carson Burnett. Mini hop and hits it over and into the Bronco zone. And that's going to lead to a 16-13 lead now. Quick substitutions. Broncos bring in Peyton Russo as well as Chesney Skrine. Chosa serving for the Grizzlies. She sends it to Skrine. Over to Swanson. Sets it up. Back to Skrine. She's going to send it down. Stopped by Tessa Burnett. Pascuzzi with the kill. And Broncos unable to keep it in play. That's Pascuzzi once again taking charge for the Northwoods Grizzlies. She has 2 aces and 5 kills. Looking to extend that though, as she is on fire today. Chosa serving for Northwoods. She's going to send it over to Grasshorn, and that's going to be dunked on. Or actually, no, they're going to say it was a foul against the Grizzlies. So Broncos get the point now. 14-17, Broncos trail on the PCA scoreboard. It's going to be Lauren Basaraba who serves for the Broncos, hoping to start a rally here in set number 3 and tie the game up. And that's going to be an ace for Lauren Basaraba. So that's one way to start it. She has 1 ace now, 3 kills. One of the leaders on the team here. Her, along with Peyton Grasshorn, both with an ace and 3 kills. Carson Burnett over to Pascuzzi. Pascuzzi rockets it into the hands of Peyton Russo, and she's going to be the one who tries to silence these Bronco Energizers. She has certainly been the difference maker throughout this contest and has been the biggest thorn in the side of these International Falls Broncos. Serving for the Grizzlies is Pascuzzi. Swanson sets it up. That's going to go to Neva Kokesh. Kokesh gets the kill! Neva Kokesh now trying to take matters into her own hands. She has an ace and a kill thus far. That was her first kill of the night. She had 5 Tuesday night against Mountain Iron Buell. But lately the Broncos have had to try and spread out the love. That's Lauren Burnett with the kill that gets in the corner and is in bounds. So now 19-16, which was also a very good movie, by the way. I really love that World War I movie. Tessa Burnett serves it for the Grizzlies. 19-16 lead for Northwoods on the PCA scoreboard. Lauren Burnett trying to extend it. That's going to be blocked by the Broncos and inbounds. Denied by the International Falls Broncos. Peyton Grasshorn going back to serve for International Falls. Grasshorn sends it over the net to Tessa Burnett. Carson Burnett sets it up. That's going to be in the hands of number 4, or Britton Lappy. Broncos able to get it back over. Carson Burnett back to Lauren Burnett, and that's blocked by the Broncos again! That's another point for the Broncos! Ladies and gentlemen, here at set number 3, we have a 1-point lead. Broncos slowly but surely trying to climb back in this third set of action. 19-18 the lead for the Grizzlies of Northwoods. Peyton Grasshorn hoping to continue leading the charge here for International Falls. Lauren Burnett silencing those hopes, though, with a nice little hit that goes over the Bronco blockers and just in front of any potential defenders. Going back to serve is Carson Burnett of the Grizzlies. 20-18, the score on the PCA scoreboard. Burnett sends it to Chesney Skrine. Grasshorn sets it up. That's going to be Whitbeck bouncing off the net. And they say it was blocked and too much airtime, so Britton Lappy decides to just dunk it down on the Broncos. That's 21-18 now in favor of the Grizzlies. Serve by Burnett. Grasshorn trying to keep it in play, but no one there in time. That's going to be a point and an ace for the Grizzlies for number 6, Carson Burnett. Sorry, I keep seeing C-A-R and I think Carol Ann Burnett, like the comedian, but Carson Burnett serves it, hoping to try and end things here. Whitbeck blocked, but Broncos keeping it in play. Grasshorn over to Cronin, but great dive by Pascuzzi to keep it in play. Now Lauren Burnett bumps it over. Kokesh over to Grasshorn. She's going to send it over. The Grizzlies send it right back. Grasshorn across to Whitbeck, blocked. Basaraba to Grasshorn to Cronin, who gets the kill off of the blockers. Broncos stay alive in this one. It's 22-19 now in set number 3. Neva Kokesh going to go and try and help lead her team to victory in set number 3. Kimmy Cronin getting the kill for the Broncos. Kokesh serves it. Carson Burnett over to number 4, Lappy, and that's going to be a point for the Grizzlies now. 23-19, like the movie Monsters, Inc. Serving for the Grizzlies is going to be number 2, Lauren Burnett. Also subbing in Hayden Classy. Kokesh to Whitbeck, able to get it over the net, having to settle with just bumping it over. Pascuzzi trying to silent end it. Whitbeck to Grasshorn, over to Cronin, and Cammy Cronin too far. That's going to be out of bounds, and now we have coming up match points right here. 24-19 Grizzlies lead. Serving is Lauren Burnett of the Grizzlies. But that's going to be out of bounds. Smart move by the libero, Morgan DeMars. So now 2014 Broncos in a bit of a tricky situation now. They need to have 4 perfect plays for a 4-point rally in order to stay in this game and not let it end here in the third. Morgan DeMars hoping to be the one to lead it. Carson Burnett sets it up. Pascuzzi trying to end it here, but that's going to be Point for the Broncos. A net foul against the Grizzlies. Now it's 24-21 here in set number 3. Morgan Navarre is hoping to continue leading her team to a victory in set number 3. Carson Burnett over to Lappy, and Lappy is the one to end it here in set number 3. Grizzlies get the 3-set sweep over the Broncos. The score in set number 1, 25-16. The score in set number 2, 25-18. And the score in the third and final set, 25-21. Much kudos to the International Falls Broncos for showing all kinds of grit and all kinds of fight throughout the contest and trying to stay in this one. Sadly, it would be the Grizzlies of Northwoods coming out on top in the end here. And so now get ready for our post-game show, as we are going to be awarding our Broncos of International Falls, specifically our Energy Player of the Game, brought to you by Enbridge. Yay, you're listening to Broncos Varsity Volleyball on Lakes Country 104.1 KSDM, as well as watching on YourLiveEvent.com. This is from the Rainy River, Minnesota North College Press Box. Our national anthem at the beginning of the game was brought to you by local VFW Post 2948. And our scoreboard updates are brought to you by Packaging Corporation of America. And every single timeout in this contest is brought to you by Service Master of International Falls. This is Augie Schmidt getting ready for our post-game show on Lakes Country 104.1 KSDM, as well as on YourLiveEvent.com.
At Enbridge, we're focused on relationships. 23 Canadian First Nation and Métis communities now own an equity stake in Enbridge Athabasca Pipelines. In Minnesota, Enbridge has spent $450 million and counting with Native-owned companies and in wages to tribal members working on Line 3. Every day brings new collaborations, partnerships, and possibilities. Learn more at Enbridge.com.
Hi, this is Rob from Falls Lumber Company. I'm new to the company, though not to the industry. If you're looking to remodel your kitchen or bathroom, stop in and see me in the Design Center. I can help you pick out the perfect cabinets or countertops from brands such as Crystal Cabinets, Cambria, Corian, and Silestone. If you're in need of flooring, we have options including luxury vinyl plank, hardwood, engineered hardwood, and tile. Stop into the Design Center to see me anytime. When you're looking to build or remodel, come to the experts at Falls Lumber Company, 201 4th Street in International Falls.
Employees at Packaging Corporation of America have been producing quality paper for over a century. We understand our responsibility to the community, and we're honored to support the many needs and events occurring in the borderland. From providing donations to local schools and events, to supporting organizations meeting physical needs in our community, Packaging Corporation of America does more than make paper. We make a difference.
Welcome back to the Rainy River, Minnesota North College Press Box on Lakes Country 104.1 KSDM. Grizzlies win it in 3 over the International Falls Broncos. Set 1 taking it 25-16, then taking set number 2 25-18, with set number 3 ending with the Broncos sadly losing 25-21. But what fight they showed throughout these contests, and what a great game that they had today despite the loss. I think the Broncos have a lot to be proud of, actually. This is a really solid team they were playing today, and it was just Izzy Pascuzzi who was really taking charge throughout the contest to really keep the Broncos out of it here today, as well as special shout out to Britton Lappy and Lauren Burnett, who were also big contributors to the win today for the Grizzlies. And so now it's time for our post-game show, and for me to announce who is today's Energy Player of the Game, brought to you by Enbridge Incorporated. Well, I'm going to have to award this one to Lauren Basaraba, who helped lead the team with an ace and 3 kills. One of the biggest contributors for today's game. It looked like the Grizzlies were kind of shutting down Neva Kokesh, and so it was Lauren Basaraba, one of the leaders on the team, who was helping to set up the offense and was getting some great offense going for the team, as well as some defensive work as well. So it's going to the senior, Lauren Basaraba. So stay tuned. I'm going to go see if I can find where she's at and see if she wants to do a post-game interview. And so stay tuned for all that and more here on Lakes Country 104.1 KSTM, as well as on YourLiveEvent.com.
Ready to ride into fall? Hi, this is Tony Skifstrom at Border Bank. Whether it's an ATV for backwoods thrills or a truck built for bonfire season, Border Bank makes it easy to gear up with a consumer loan that fits your lifestyle. Fast decisions, competitive rates, hometown service that goes the extra mile. So don't just rake leaves, run them over. Apply today at borderbank.com or come visit with me at the bank. Border Bank, customer first, community focused. Member FDIC. Ready to ride into fall? Hi, this is Tony Skifstrom at Border Bank. Whether it's an ATV for backwoods thrills or a truck built for bonfire season, Border Bank makes it easy to gear up with a consumer loan that fits your lifestyle. Fast decisions, competitive rates, hometown service that goes the extra mile. So don't just rake leaves, run them over. Apply today at borderbank.com or come visit with me at the bank. Border Bank, customer first, community focused. Member FDIC.
At Enbridge, we're focused on relationships. 23 Canadian First Nation and Métis communities now own an equity stake in Enbridge Athabasca Pipelines. In Minnesota, Enbridge has spent $450 million and counting with Native-owned companies and in wages to tribal members working on Line 3. Every day brings new collaborations, partnerships, and possibilities. Learn more at Enbridge.com.
Hi, this is Rob from Falls Lumber Company. I'm new to the company, though not to the industry. If you're looking to remodel your kitchen or bathroom, stop in and see me in the Design Center. I can help you pick out the perfect cabinets or countertops from brands such as Crystal Cabinets, Cambria, Corian, and Silestone. If you're in need of flooring, we have options including luxury vinyl plank, hardwood, engineered hardwood, and tile. Stop into the Design Center to see me anytime. When you're looking to build or remodel, come to the experts at Falls Lumber Company, 201 4th Street in International Falls.
Employees at Packaging Corporation of America have been producing quality paper for over a century. We understand our responsibility to the community, and we're honored to support the many needs and events occurring in the borderland. From providing donations to local schools and events, to supporting organizations meeting physical needs in our community, Packaging Corporation of America does more than make paper. We make a difference.
Ready to ride into fall? Hi, this is Tony Skifstrom at Border Bank. Whether it's an ATV for backwoods thrills or a truck built for bonfire season, Border Bank makes it easy to gear up with a consumer loan that fits your lifestyle. Fast decisions, competitive rates, hometown service that goes the extra mile. So don't just rake leaves, run them over. Apply today at borderbank.com or come visit with me at the bank. Border Bank, customer first, community focused. Member FDIC.
At Enbridge, we're focused on relationships. 23 Canadian First Nation and Métis communities now own an equity stake in Enbridge Athabasca Pipelines. In Minnesota, Enbridge has spent $450 million and counting with Native-owned companies and in wages to tribal members working on Line 3. Every day brings new collaborations, partnerships, and possibilities. Learn more at Enbridge.com.
Welcome back to the Rainy River, Minnesota North College Press Box on Lakes Country 104.1 KSTM. Joining me here for our post-game interview is Peyton Grasshorn of the International Falls Broncos. And so, Peyton, a tough loss today, but you're playing a great team, and it seemed like it was really tough to adjust to Izzy Pascuzzi of the team, but I will say you guys played fantastic out there. It was really awesome to see you guys really fighting to stay in the game. And so what do you think is now the goal going into the next one after today?
I think carrying the momentum of the last set, we played together as a team and got up at the net really well with blocks and hitting, and I think just carrying that last set momentum into the next game.
I was going to say that last set was definitely probably the best set that you guys had. And so what was it that was going right, and what was it that you think was probably going wrong in that set?
We just knew that we could compete, and the sets before, a lot of their points was our mistakes, and we just cleaned up those silly mistakes that we were making and made less mistakes and kept up with them pretty good.
And so now I also got to ask, there were a couple of moments there where it kind of came down to like a split-second decision of, do I let it go, or do I go for the dig or go for the set? How is it that you usually try and make those split-second decisions?
You just kind of have to be aggressive and just go. If it's a decision, then you should probably just go for the ball.
When in doubt, just go for the ball.
Yes.
That's a really good rule to live by for volleyball. And I also saw a lot of really impressive hits by the team as well. Some of them, you guys are kind of like sneaking them in to the corners. And so how excited does that get you guys during the game?
It gets us really pumped because we work on that a lot in practice. So carrying on to a game just gets us pumped.
And so now, what's the next team you guys play?
I don't know.
So hopefully you guys are able to get another practice. Do you think also being able to get a practice in yesterday kind of helped too, and not just being one after the other after the other?
Yeah, for sure. We worked on a lot of things that we did wrong in our previous games on Monday and Tuesday. We worked on a lot of things yesterday, and it really helped.
So then what's a personal goal for yourself?
Just keep getting better and improving every single game throughout the season.
Well, I want to wish you the very best of luck, and thank you for joining me here today. And like I said, tough loss, but what a heck of a game you guys played today. So thank you again for joining me.
Thank you.
And this has been our live broadcast of Broncos Varsity Volleyball on Lakes Country 104.1 KSTM, as well as on YourLiveEvent.com. Thank you guys for tuning in.